Hello, everyone. Greetings from our team, from Crowd Product, from Ritabrata, from Goal, from Abhijit, from Sportscast, and from Kuldeep from SenseGiz. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Today, we're going to have some fun. Usually, Abhijit is the host, but since it's his birthday, we decided let him become a panelist. And we thought let's just chill and discuss a few interesting topics that have been discussed among many of our audience members and viewers. Today, we're going to talk about the new normal, the kind of media and event experiences that audiences have been encountering today with football and various other sports. Also, the kind of technology that is being leveraged today. And we will go through each one of the panelists trying to understand what kind of technology they think will make a massive difference in the sports ecosystem. And we'll also do a little bit of punditry. We have a lot of experts, we have journalists, we have event organizers, we have sports fans. So we will do a bit of predict and win with all of you. Great. So let me begin with Abhijit, since it's his special day. I want him to share a bit about himself. What do you do, and how are you involved with sports?
First of all, thanks a lot, Vinay. It. By the way, today is not my birthday. My birthday was on Wednesday. But obviously, we don't need to get into that a little bit. But it's nice to be on the other side. I'm usually the one who hosts speakers and things like that. But coming back a little bit, my whole tryst with sports, or yes, tryst with sports is a good word, goes back to when I was 6 years old and I started playing tennis. And my grandfather used to play tennis actually for Tamil Nadu. So I kind of followed in his footsteps and played for Karnataka. He wasn't very happy that I played for Karnataka, but that's again a different story. But because of an injury and engineering and all of those things that happened, I actually gave up tennis, and I became like a good engineer, a good Brahmin Tambram boy, at least what they are supposed to be. So I became that, and I work with Vinay, as everybody knows. We work together, crowd product, and we try to do some cool stuff. My whole thing of sports now is more of giving back and trying to get people to actually take up sport, because according to me, sport is something that actually gives people hope. It actually gives people some kind of belief that the impossible is possible, and all of that adage of things. But sport and music are two things that can do it, and according to me, I've actually picked sport. So yeah,
Nice,
and I run a
nice.
podcast called Sportscast, which
Yeah.
serenaded very very well in this session today. So yeah.
So 25 episodes so far, right? The last quarter,
No,
20
actually,
episodes in the last quarter.
15. Yeah,
Okay,
15.
15. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming. We'll hit
Okay.
25
Nice,
very soon. Yeah.
nice, nice. So we also have Rito Broto. You'd like to share a little more about yourself?
Sure. I'm Ritabrata Banerjee. I'm a journalist working with Goal.com. So, yeah, I have always been an avid follower of football and all sports, but especially football. I have played at a very basic and amateur level in school and colleges, but I did my graduation in business management. But by third year, I realized that that's just not for me, and I just to make up for being a failed sports person, I decided to enter the world of journalism, and so that I can be closer to the footballers, the sports persons, and everything. And that's how my journalism career began. And yeah, so far so good.
Nice. That's fantastic. I think you chose the right path. How about you, Kuldeep?
Alright, hi guys. I'm Kuldeep Rane, and I'm heading the marketing division for SenseGiz Technologies. So we are predominantly into IoT products and services for a little boring kind of stuff where you do a lot of enterprise level solutions for manufacturing companies, automobile companies, and stuff like that. But in the current pandemic, we developed a product for all kind of sports. So we have a biobubble, which you probably have heard and seen how it works. So we have developed that biobubble solution. It's a made in India product. Earlier they used to get it done from companies outside of India, but we were the few companies who actually ventured into while being in India. So that's what we do. But speaking about me, I'm a very avid follower of football, cricket, any kind of sport. I mean, I can just watch golf for hours. I'm okay with that. So I used to play a lot of football, cricket, basketball during my schooling days, and I've played up till like university level, not the state level, but towards the university levels. And yeah, that's more about me. And we still continue to play all the sports as and when we get time. So that's our routine. So that's about me.
Nice. I will actually start with you, Kuldeep. So
Hmm.
there are experiences of people at the stadium and people and viewers. So let's start with the experience at the live stadium in this new normal. Since you've been at a lot of cricket stadiums, you and your
Right.
folks in the company with the
Hmm.
biobubble solution. Could you just explain a little more about the biobubble solution, and then you could talk about how the experience has changed in the actual stadium.
Right. So as we know that the experience being at the stadium is completely different. For even as a player, or even if you go as a fan to watch a match, it's completely electrifying. But in the current COVID landscape, what has happened is there was absolutely no crowd allowed initially when the game started after the pandemic in different regions across globally, and then they started allowing around 50% of crowd and so on and so forth. And right now we have in certain sections we have 100% crowd watching matches. But when we're talking about these two different sections where there were crowd and there was no crowd, it was even difficult for the players to play in empty stadiums. It's really difficult for them because there's no one cheering, rooting for them. So it's completely different. So we have been on either side of the spectrum where we have seen people cheering, and it's very electrifying for both for the player and as well as a fan, compared to a empty stadium and just 22 players, or the x number of players playing against each other. So the solution that we had offered for a bio bubble, it was for any sport. It can be for a five team like a basketball team also, or a cricket or a football team. So we have seen players being mentally happy while they were in the bio bubble. Earlier it was like it's like a bio-bubble pressure that everyone was talking about. But when they saw that they are actually in a safer place than being outside, which is prone to being positive, there were a lot of people, the likes of Sachin Tendulkar and Sehwag, who were there for the entire month, for the entire duration of this tournament when we were in Raipur for the Road Safety World Series. So initially even they were little, because everyone thinks, how can Sachin Tendulkar stay for 1 month, outside a certain, outside his own comfort zone. But go to see, everyone was okay with it, and everyone got used to that fact that it's a small. There were just six teams, though there were more than 500 to 800 people in that thing, but it was a sprawling area, so it was all fine. So the thing is that it takes time for players to get used to it, for the fans to get used to it. But end of the day, it's a win-win for everyone, as long as you. I mean, today, as of today, I think there were seven players from the English team who tested positive, right? So those kind of things have, you cannot stop that, that you cannot stop it, or you cannot stop the spread. But the thing is that the solutions like what we offer from SenseGiz, they will give you a checkpoint where you can actually minimize the damage, right? I mean, we are not a technical expert, but we can tell you if someone is positive, we can tell you whom all he has come in contact with, so you can do a background, like a historical tracing of whom all he has met. So that kind of things can be done, and that can be done in future also. But you cannot stop COVID from happening, at least for the next 1 or 2 years. I think biobubble is the way to go for any sport. And I think I firmly believe in that. Even for the
You're saying
Euros,
even
I
like
think
corporate tournaments, huh? Even for corporate
absolutely.
tournaments, yeah.
See, again,
Mm.
corporate tournaments, I'm not sure whether they have enough budgets to cover those kind of events, or to
Mm.
have those kind of solutions. But I think once people understand the importance of a biobubble, I'm sure it will be replicated towards the corporate side of it as well. As of now, it is not, but they should eventually do it, because the
Okay.
thing is, people think that COVID is gone, and as of today, I am talking as of today, there are seven players from English team, including the captain, who is tested positive for COVID today.
Right.
So
I think
COVID will stay for some time.
Ritabrata, yeah, he would know the latest news about the
Mhm.
Euros. But how is it for journalists? How are you covering various sports events over the last year and a half? Did you uh, did you realize that virtually you were able to get the inputs? How were your press conferences, for example?
Yeah, it was at in the beginning it was different, of course, because suddenly we are not able to go to the stadiums and feel what exactly Kuldeep said, the atmosphere. We also feel the same from our media box and stuff, but that was different. But when the season happened, like the ISL happened in November, we were skeptical initially how things will turn up. It's different, but as you said, accessibility. I think the new in the new normal with technology coming in, and with all the streaming services and everything, press conferences and stuff which were limited to 20-30 journalists is now accessible to the world. In the India Super League, the post match press conferences were held via Facebook Live or Instagram Live or YouTube Live. It is more accessible to the fans. And so, for example, if we do not have a correspondent, for example, for some reason in one particular game, we used to miss out on a lot of things like audios, post match press conference audios or pre match press conference audios. But that's not a problem anymore, as it is getting streamed, or it's streamed live on social media. And I think in our time, social media is this time actually in our time, social media, of course, is a very important tool. But I think in the present scenario, social media is the most powerful tool, and that has kind of revolutionized the sports coverage, and actually changed and given a new dimension to sports coverage, as I feel.
Right, right. Talking about somebody who has done a lot of events, and these are not tournaments, but these are sports conferences, conclaves, pitches. Abhijit has done a handful of them over the last couple of years, these large conferences where all the sports stakeholders uh, came, attended, shared their insights, including one of them who, in fact, he had written 10 to 15 years ago for Goal as well. He's a Seattle Sounders video analyst. His name is Ravi. Uh, and he was one of the speakers at one of Abhijit's events. So, Abhijit, do you think this can also extend to uh, other uh, events, activities? This whole experience, have things changed even for those kind of audiences?
I mean, if you actually look at the way we are doing this activity right now, it's actually catering to a social media audience, or somebody who's probably listening to the stream of what we're doing. And most of the people, people who do conferences, webinars, and all of that, actually tune into things like this. I've actually personally seen it when we got Ravi Ramaneni, for example. Somebody sitting in Seattle was able to come on as a live feed, and we were actually able to pull down the projector, and whoever was sitting physically there were actually able to engage with Ravi and stuff like that. I think that is going to be the new normal, so to speak. I also want to just pick up on what Ritabrata said, as there's nothing like going to the stadium and watching. When you, especially when it comes to sport, given a choice, given a chance, anybody would definitely go watch sport in a stadium. It goes without saying. But the new normal, the number of seats that people actually have, and social distancing norms and things like that, it's not going to be easy for everybody to go see games. But the engaging fans, sports fans, and especially people who listen to any kind of conferences, I think that's going to be the way things go forward from here.
Yeah, no, I noticed that a lot of changes are happening even for people in the stadium. They have this whole from the experience that one has, F&B, to participating in activities from their mobile phones, to contests, games, that whole festive feel. So even that has changed. In fact, a few months ago, we got contacted from some of these IPL teams. They wanted to record fans celebrating. I'm not sure if you've seen these IPL screens where people are jumping and doing all that. So they
Yeah.
reached out to us initially to record fan reactions. And so much is happening and changed. But what would you say is that one kind of technology, and I'm sure many of you may pick the same technology when it comes to football, but that you think will completely change the outlook of, say, football, a sport like football? Let me start with Rito Broto.
Um, uh, you mean to say the new normal, or just
No, no,
the technology?
general technology in sport. Something that has changed, like VAR, for example. Now that I told you VAR, you.
I was about to say that what it's a very very
Yeah.
That's
controversial
everyone's favorite.
opinion
That's
for
everyone's favorite.
Yeah. So maybe you
Except,
should
yeah.
say
except
one more thing along with that.
Graham Souness hates VAR.
He hates
He's
Pogba as
screaming
well.
at Roy Keane every time on Sky Sports. The
He
problem we
hates
have with
Pogba as
football is VAR. With
well.
VAR, he keeps saying every episode he says that. It's crazy.
But what I feel is that it's a very misunderstood, or it's not, it's controversial. It depends. If it's basically, if it goes against your team, it's controversial. It's not good. If it actually benefits your team, then it's good. But I feel that it has revolutionized sport, especially because you know winning this time in this time, football or any other sport is not just about winning or losing. A lot of things are at stake. So if we can actually, the decisions can be corrected, which or affects the the outcome of the game or the result. I think it's not a bad thing to take the help of technology. And people say that it affects the pace of the game or something like that. But at the end of the day, I feel that as so many things, so much money, so much of a lot of things are at stake for with the winning and the outcome of the game, I feel war is necessary.
Right, right. It is like a war till it becomes part of everyone's
War,
life.
yeah.
But now the Kuldeep, so you've heard of this goal line technology, right? These days,
Right.
the umpires get notified when the
Jump.
ball crosses.
Mhm.
Is that via sensor? How is it so instant and real time? Uh,
Of course,
any
yes, yes. So it's yeah, so it's a sensor-based, applications that they have, and they are sensors based on basically deployed across the goal post. So and it's you can see the goal line technology also when they show on from a like a aerial view, even if it's like a microsecond or a micro millis, the distance it's very very narrow. You can see that. So all this information is all Internet of Things, right? All of these are connected systems, and they are connected to the referee. Basically, he's wearing a watch, so he gets a goal or a no goal right in his watch within that split second. So earlier we used to have two additional assistant referees to actually check the goal line. Apart from the two
Mhm.
holding the flags for the offside, you had two more checking the goal line. So this new technology has revolutionized in the last few years, and it is 100% proof. Maybe VAR is not 100% proof. I don't actually believe that, because at times, as Ritabrata rightly said, as long as your team is getting the benefit out of it, you probably want to say it is the best what do you call a technology. But at times you are at the receiving end, you might say it is just not good enough. So it will take some time for VAR, but I think goal line technology is one of the
freeze? Did he just freeze? Okay, let's go to Abhijit and check with
I
you.
lost you for a second. I just lost you for a second. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, yeah. No worries. Yeah. So I'll just move to Abhijit about the referees because what do your referee friends say? What kind of technology you think will help them? Uh, what
Um,
kind of
so so if you know Shaji Prabhakaran is a referee, sort of. He started off as a referee and all that. And also I'm friends with another umpire who's an umpire for BCCI, and he officiates these games and all that. And trust me when I say, or at least trust them when I paraphrase through them, that it's an incredibly difficult job being a referee or an umpire. It's super difficult. I mean, technology is something that actually helps these people. I mean, that's the way we should see it. So a few, I think just before the pandemic last year, I attended a webinar with Harsha Bogle. Harsha Bogle was speaking about Hawkeye and stuff like that, and he actually mentioned something very interesting about Hawkeye having an error percentage. So which is why that umpire's decision or umpire's call comes into play, because of that point 0.5. Or I think Kuldeep would be able to speak a little more about this, because I'm not so aware. But technology will always have a role to play when it comes to sport, irrespective. Actually, I don't know if you saw the highlights of the game, but the challenge with VAR and Graham's soundness, he keeps like doing all this chest thumping and saying VAR VAR no VAR, I hate it and all that. But the thing with VAR is actually that if you see it, the offside is where the issue is. If the flag is raised by the assistant on the far side, and this guy was actually onside and not offside, and the goal goes in, the goal is not given, right? So that is, I think that
Yeah.
is where the controversy comes. And I think also the finer points, if you saw the England Ukraine game the other day, Harry Maguire's right arm is actually stretched over the offside line. I don't know how many people caught that. His legs are behind but his arm is off. In a Premier League match, that wouldn't be given. The goal wouldn't be given because his arm is off, but in a Euros it's given. So I think this is where, and I can tell you so many instances, that penalty which Bruno Fernandes won. He's won so many penalties, but there's one particular one where he won against Watford the season where they got relegated. That was, I mean, a lot of us who were watching, we say he dived, but then but then he got the penalty even after the VAR check, right? So there's so many instances where I would pull up VAR and say that it's not. I mean, it is detrimental, but as technology gets refined, as things get better, I definitely see that even the error percentage with Hawkeye would definitely reduce as we go forward.
Right, right. Now, I think the human element is always a great thing because in terms
Yeah.
of it cannot be perfect, and with this segue, I would like us to move into the more fun part of it, which is basically trying to wear the hat of pundits and predict the winners of the Euro 21, and also a few questions. So let me just do a quick screen share. So for some of you who do not know about crowd product, we essentially increase the audience engagement at events and sessions. So we have, in fact, not just the live sessions. We people watch a lot of our sessions even post the activity over a period of time. So we try and make it engaging way beyond the live event. So let me just do a screen share now and show you some of the questions, and let's take the answers of each of these trivia from the panelists. Okay, so let me just go to one of these. Okay. And here you go. Okay, let me start with a poll question or with a quiz, you can call it. So let's start with Abhijit. Which team won the tournament the most number of times in the 20th century, the Euro tournament?
I'm gonna have to say in the 20th century.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say France.
France?
It's a
Okay,
wild guess. Yeah.
okay, it's France. Anyone else wants to take a guess? Anyone knows the answer?
France.
France, yeah. It would be France,
okay,
yeah.
not
There's
bad.
no Germany, no England, yeah.
Okay, so this one is for Ritabrata. Which is the only team that defeated England in Euro 2020?
In the Euro 2020 qualifiers.
Qualifiers. Sorry, yeah.
Okay,
Qualifiers.
tricky. I did not really follow this one. Okay, I'll go with Czech Republic. It's a wild
Czech Republic.
guess.
Yeah. They seem. How about Abhijit? Is that right?
I think it's right. Yeah, I think I watched the Kosovo game, so yeah, Czech Republic. Yeah.
I think so. Czech
Okay.
Republic. That's the only team that looks like beating
Yeah.
them as of now.
Yeah. But they lost to Denmark, I guess. No. Okay. The third question: when was the first European Championship held?
Okay, you're
This is
giving them
to-
the easy ones. Yeah, so they are the easy
It's
ones
for
are for
you,
them.
it's for you.
No, this is not the easy one, is what I'm saying. So when was the first? That should be 1956.
I think it's 1960, if I'm not wrong. With a little bit of
1960.
Googling, as a tech guy, you should. Okay, so there are more questions. So real time, we'll keep updating the questions, even for the audience. Now let's go for the prediction bit of it. Okay. Now this is going to be interesting because you'll also have to tell me who do you think will win and why do you think they would win. Okay, let me start with Kuldeep on this.
We were having a discussion before this session, and and we were probably in favor of Italy, because predominantly Italians are more of a defensive side and all that. But that has all changed in the last year or so. I was not expecting Italy to do as good as they are doing right now. I was hoping like something like someone like a Spain or an England doing much better. But I think it's England's cup to lose unless they have really going really bad. But I think it's Italy all the way.
Italy all the way.
For
Very
me.
interesting.
Yes.
How about
Yeah.
you, Ritabrata?
I'll agree with Kuldeep that it's Italy. I feel that they're going to be because they're a very complete team, offensively, defensively. The they're the most compact team among all the rest of the four teams, and also they were on a 28 game unbeaten streak. Now it's 33 game unbeaten streak. So their confidence is at an all time high with Roberto Mancini in, and the only team who can challenge Italy among this four, I feel, is England. But given their track record, I have to say it's Italy who's going to lift the cup.
So do you think an Italian player or one of these, because I think the Golden Boot is with Cristiano Ronaldo and Sheik from
And
the Czech
Patrick Schick,
Republic,
yeah,
Patrick
yeah.
Sheik, right? Who do you think would win the Golden Boot this time? One of them, or you think one of these four teams have a opportunity?
Um, uh, depend if England, if Harry Kane performs in the semi-final, then yeah, Harry Kane can
Yeah,
surpass or at least equal Cristiano or
mhm,
Patrick Schick,
yeah,
or
and
else
also
it's with Schick or Ronaldo.
okay, okay. Abhijit, how about you?
I'm actually putting my money on England because
Hmm.
I actually enjoy watching. I think now that Jadon Sancho has come in, and the reason why Jadon Sancho has come in is because of the transfer with United and all that. But actually they have little more thing. I don't know this. Peter Drury uses the word industry. They have a lot of industry going forward with this guy. I think with Jack Grealish and they look a little more little better, I would say. I think now Southgate is I think like Ritabrata said, it's England's cup to lose, actually. Or I think Kuldeep said that. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I think so. One of you said it's England's cup to lose. I think I actually would go with England. I feel that they would beat Italy's streak. Hopefully, I don't know.
I don't know why, but I feel I have a completely different perspective because if you look at the journey of Denmark and Spain, right? Let me start with Spain. Spain were doing really poorly, and then one of the Dutch players who I think played for Barcelona, he commented about Spain doing really poorly, and it suddenly Spain overnight became really good. They scored 5 goals and all of that, right? Uh, and that's when I realized that the team got together because of uh, a team got united because of these adverse comments and all that. And a similar thing, even Denmark, right? Because of
Ericsson.
yeah, Ericsson,
Yeah.
yeah, because of Ericsson's whole thing that happened, and the team got together and they're doing really well. So I would be surprised if the adverse circumstance would get one of these teams to create a big upset, you know. And I really think that's possible because I remember watching the 2004 in our apartment complex where all of us were supporting Portugal and Greece defeated Portugal. So upsets are quite possible, I feel.
Absolutely.
Tonight's game, it'll be interesting to see how Spain and Italy play. And I wouldn't be surprised if Denmark stun England. Because England always buckle under pressure. But let's see. Let's have a yeah. So great. I think so. We have this session that's going live, so people can even watch it on this link right now. You just have to click play, and the session goes live. The live session is happening. I'm just going to switch this off. I'm going to remove the screen. And yeah, so I think this was a fantastic discussion, not just about the Euros, but also about technologies, your experiences, events, organizing sports. I really enjoyed it. My first sort of interaction with all of you. And I look forward to more learning and development and engagement with you guys. we will officially end this broadcast now. And